I first heard Miles Davis in college. I've probably heard him before, but I first really listened to him in college. And I had a friend who would come over and we'd chill out and listen to Miles Davis, maybe sketches of Spain or Kind of Blue, and we would play some chess, just listen to jazz all evening. That's where I really thought, maybe I can be a trumpeter. I didn't have that opportunity until just a couple of years ago, though, when I happened upon, in a thrift store, a used trumpet for $50, which is amazingly cheap in trumpet terms. And I have it right here. It's a little dinged up, but I think it does its job. It's got a few dings, but it's nice and shiny and plays the notes right. Miles Davis got his first trumpet as a gift from his father, who gave him the trumpet because he thought it would spite his mother. And I imagine he had a bit of a nicer trumpet than I have, because his father was a dentist, so they had a little bit of money. Miles Davis also went to Juilliard. It's fitting that our theme of today is heroes and villains, because Miles Davis has been a bit of a hero for me, but he also is a little bit of a villain in his personal life. You need more than a trumpet, though, I think, to be a successful trumpeter. You need to have the look. Quincy Troupe is Miles Davis' biographer. He wrote this, you might have seen it, Miles and Me. He relates a story in here about the first time, one of the first times that he met Miles. He had always been sort of a hero to him, and he had met him a few weeks earlier. Quincy Troupe was a reporter, and they hit it off. And one day, while walking down the street, he happened to see Miles just walking along. And now Miles doesn't just walk. First of all, he's got ferocious appetite for some gum. So he's chewing some gum, and he's strutting along. And he's also got his dark sunglasses. And he's strutting along, and Quincy says, "Hey Miles, hey Miles." Miles Davis doesn't break stride. He doesn't look to the left or to the right. He doesn't even blink. He just keeps walking. That's how Miles Davis did it. He had the look. He had the attitude. Miles Davis didn't have a lot of respect for people. Well, he didn't have respect for you. He treated you in a rather icy manner. So maybe you got to have the look, you got to have the attitude as well. Miles Davis was known as the Prince of Darkness in some ways because of this. And Quincy Troupe relates a story of how Miles Davis was in an interview with a reporter in the 1960s. And he leaves the room for a few minutes and says, I gotta take a phone call. A real raspy voice. And comes back and there's a car horn honking in the street below. And the reporter says, man, what's that honking about? Miles Davis says, man, that's the cab I called you a while ago. Get out of here. Real icy tone. That year, Miles Davis didn't get on the cover of Time magazine. Another musician, Thelonious Monk, did instead. Now, maybe this was the reason that Monk and Miles had a little bit of a rocky relationship. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. There's a story that Miles Davis and Monk were recording an album, and Miles told Monk to lay off on the next tune. Lay out meant don't play during my solo. So Monk played during his solo anyway. Because Monk didn't do what anybody told him to do. And the legend has it that the two of them came to blows over this. Other legends have it that the two of them hung out all night for the rest of the evening. So who knows? But Miles Davis used to play, before I get to that, Monk and Davis kind of had a comical relationship too. After that incident, there were stories that while Miles was up on stage playing his trumpet during the solo, Monk might get up from the piano and just come up and dance right behind Miles, just to see if he could throw him off. Now, they say that Miles Davis in his later years used to play with his back to the audience. And people thought maybe that's because he's stuck up. Well, I think maybe it's because maybe he's just watching his back. So you gotta have the look, you gotta have the attitude. You also have to have the technique. And the technique in trumpet playing is called the embouchure. And this is something that takes years to develop. And a lot of trumpeters have very different ones and very distinct ones. Miles Davis' embouchure led to this beautiful sound that his horn would produce. You may have also seen pictures of Dizzy Gillespie. Looks like that. Arvid, the guy who wrote this big, thick book here, with lots of notes, huge, just full of music, recommended that his students, before they even play the trumpet for the first time, practice blowing without a mouthpiece. Everybody, give it a try. Yeah, you all look pretty silly. Miles Davis, when he went into retirement in around 1975 for about 5 years, which meant, in reality, just lots of cocaine use and womanizing, he came back in 1980, and one of the things that was hardest for him to regain was his embouchure. So, there's a few things you need to be a trumpeter. I have the equipment here. I have the dark glasses. I don't know if I have the look. I definitely maybe don't have the attitude. Maybe I do. What do you guys think? Madam Toastmaster?